Jurassic World Evolution isn't out until summer 2018, and though we know 9 of the confirmed dinosaurs already, there are a bunch of potential dig sites that we've seen in the expo map that are going to let us speculate today as to what other dinosaurs could be out there. A lot of these dig sites, I should say, are uncertain, and I'll try to mention that when they are, but in general I've tried to go for what I think are the more likely choices both in dig site and dinosaur found there. Starting off with an obvious one, we're heading over to North America and the Kayenta Formation in Arizona. With so many dig sites crammed together, there's definitely some guesswork involved here, but the reason I think Kayenta Formation is a clear choice is that it contains the classic Jurassic Park dinosaur, Dilophosaurus. If you take a look at the bio in the top left, you'll see some basic information as well as a fun fact or FF, which I'll go into each more with each dinosaur. Now, the Dilophosaurus, like the Velociraptor, is one of those dinosaurs that looks a lot different than its Jurassic Park franchise form. In reality, it was much larger than depicted, didn't have a big neck frill, and of course didn't spit gooey tar poison into the faces of IT technicians, or anyone really. Still, it's a classic dinosaur for the series, and certainly one of the fan favourites for the first film, so it would be very surprising if it wasn't in Jurassic World Evolution. You'll notice under diet there isn't a strict answer, and this is because Dilophosaurus, the diet is still up for debate. Dilophosaurus had very weak teeth, and for a long time people believed that meant it was a scavenger that was incapable of hunting its own prey, had to scavenge from carcasses. But recent findings suggest it might actually have hunted, caught and eaten fish. All I really hope is it's still capable of eating a guest or two. Heading back to the map, we're going to go south to Madagascar, to the dig site that was revealed on the expo panel itself. Camde du Aubre. There's no way I didn't butcher that. Now, I can't find a single reference to that dig site, but there is really only one very prominent dig site in Madagascar, known as the Baryonyx Formation, and it's there that they found Majungasaurus, a predatory allosaurid theropod. This dinosaur hasn't appeared in Jurassic Park franchise before. There was actually Majungasaurus DNA used in the creation of the Indominus Rex from the last film, and as we saw with J-Pog in the past, a dinosaur certainly doesn't need to have been in the films or books in order to make an appearance in the games. Majungasaurus is an interesting dinosaur primarily because it's the only confirmed non-avian theropod that feasted upon its own kind, its own flesh and blood. Yes, Majungasaurus was a cannibal dinosaur, so you should probably try to only have one of them in each exhibit. Our third dig site takes us across to Mongolia and the Nemegt Formation. Unsure as to whether this is Mongolian or Chinese, as the dot placement is a little bit haphazard, as you'll see with a later dig site, but the Nemegt Formation is fairly famous, and that makes it a fairly likely candidate because it has some incredibly famous dinosaurs, such as Therizinosaurus, one of my all-time favourites, if not my second favourite dinosaur and the climbing. It's worth mentioning that Gallimimus was also discovered in the Nemegt Formation and is probably the more likely dinosaur to actually emerge from that dig site, given its role in the history of Jurassic Park, particularly in the first film. I would be very surprised if you didn't find the Gallimimus there, but I figured we'd be a little optimistic and go for something a little different. Therizinosaurus is a huge herbivorous theropod, and it had the largest claws of any creature ever, basically. This feathered beast is a bizarre creature that stumped paleontologists for years. They simply didn't know how to classify it because it looks threatening. The danger floof looks like a carnivore. And though I'm not a big pusher of feathers in Jurassic Park per se, I think a handful of creatures such as Therizinosaurus would be a good way to introduce them to the wider public, as well as giving that wider public an insight into one of the weirdest dinosaurs ever discovered. Swinging over to my homeland, we're going to hit England, home of not one but 2 different dig sites, surprisingly. The one to the left is likely the famous Jurassic Coast, a very well-known dig site in England, but all of the research I've done kind of suggests this one to the right, that's a little bit further inland, is probably a dig site known as the Smokejack Clay Pit in Surrey. Now that is because this is where Baryonyx, the heavy claw dinosaur, was discovered. A member of the same family as Spinosaurus, Baryonyx is another dinosaur that has actually appeared in the franchise before, a long time ago, in the really fantastic Lost World PS1 game. They're also referenced in the materials for the Jurassic World film, mentioned as having lived with Suchomimus in the Cretaceous Cruise section. As for the fun fact, well, a dinosaur called Suchosaurus was discovered a long time before Baryonyx, and because of similarities in their teeth, there are suggestions they are in fact the same dinosaur, though many people do contest that claim. If it did turn out to be true though, Baryonyx as a name would disappear and it would be reborn as the Suchosaurus. The final Digsite was by far the most annoying to locate, and it still seems likely to be wrong. Basically, to be honest guys, try as I might, I simply could not find reference to a specific Digsite or dinosaur located at this exact spot in Queensland, Australia, which is the kind of northeast region of Australia. There are several in the vague region, most of them just a little bit south, so I'm going to assume that's where the Digsite is meant to be. I could well be wrong, maybe I've missed something, some dinosaur, some Digsite, do let me know in the comments down below. However, Australia does have a few famous dinosaurs that are likely to be good candidates, dinosaurs such as Minmi or Madagascar, both of which were discovered in Queensland. However, found at this specific site called AODL85 is Australovenator, the southern hunter and the most complete predatory dinosaur ever found in Australia. Now this is a relatively new dinosaur, only being described for the first time in 2009, and there are still debates as to where exactly it should be classified. Is it a Tyrannosaurid or is it an Allosaurid? There's a few other options in there, multiple opinions. But it's an interesting dinosaur and one studied at length due to its ability to extend its arms and fingers out in like a grasping animation. Like, it had the ability to extend its claws out more than pretty much any other dinosaur other than, oddly enough, Dilophosaurus. And it was a way of holding its prey before it feasted upon it. So, you know, maybe if there's some small children in the park, then yeah, that would be pretty cool. That's it for today, folks. 5 Digsites, 5 potential dinosaurs. There is a whole bunch of guesswork here, as some of these were close calls between other potential Digsites or other potential dinosaurs. Gallimimus seeming particularly likely. But until we know more about how many dinosaurs each site will have, or get some more specific Digsite names, it's hard to say much more. If you liked this video and want more on Jurassic World Evolution, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to make sure you do get notifications when I upload new content. And if there's a topic for Jurassic World Evolution you'd like to hear me talk about, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments down below. We're going to talk a lot about Jurassic World Evolution and Jurassic World Kingdom in the build up to the game and film next year, when of course we'll be doing a film review and we will be playing through the game. Thank you so much for joining me as always. Cheers, much love, bye bye.